Okay, we're good. Between the years 2012 and let's see, let's just say before 2016. So 2012 to 2015 were the best years I'd say for me on Roblox. There's many reasons for that, and I think it's because there are some things that are missing these days in the game that were there back in the day that these kids don't have the um let's say what's the word, experience, I don't know, privilege, that blessing to have. One thing, the events, they put so much care into the events, like the Halloween event or the Christmas event, the Thanksgiving event, the Easter event. Oh my god, those are like my main things that I was looking forward to. They had the summer games as well. I think they did like a winter games thing. That was like when they were giving out a Cloud 9 snowboard. Fun thing right there. It's just the simplicity of it. It was like a close family bond between the community and the developers out there in the headquarters. And it's just like they don't have that these days. It's like in gaming in general, like you don't get to have these free items. Um, like they used to give out free stuff like the hats and stuff. They even had tickets, like you every day you log in you get something, and then when that accumulates you can buy something off the catalog. But that's not there anymore. Things got more corporate. I've watched the evolution throughout my life, born in the 2000s, between where technology was and how corporate the system was there too, and how that evolved. So I was growing up on this game, and I was just seeing how things just like changed, right? So like and these days, I mean, I'm kind of benefiting off of it too. It's like this, like I'll be getting rid of something on the game, and I'll be able to buy something off of it because the economy grew on the game. This is what I'm saying. The foundation. I'm not going to share too many details because I don't know. There are some people out there that would go through, I don't know, great lengths just to like mess up somebody else's life on the internet. So I'm trying my best. Who knows? But at least I'm benefiting there. But back then, things were cheaper. Then there was that community, as I was saying. You just had these players near you, and you just have genuine like interactions, and everyone was colorful, and like the thing with the colors too. It's like I'm kind of colorblind, so like these days everything just seems more bland now. Everyone's like not so like enticed to use colors. But back then, it's like, it felt everything was so colorful. Man, when I was a kid, like looking up at the sky, oh my god, that was the most like radiant blue ever, right? And it stung my eyes looking at it, and like I had this tendency to like sneeze, and oh my god. But anyways, like the colors, like I was playing like a water park game, and I met these like cool few people on the game. Mario 6660609, Eduardo 5838, and then Cool Cat T222. I had a little bit of drama with one of the other guys before I met the friend group, and then we went from like not so cool to cool. I don't know why we were beefing on a water park game, but we did. And then around the same year, I think 2013, I met this pretty cool guy. His name was Tron Legacy 101. Come to find out, the guy was like, I think he was like, yeah, 4 years younger than me the whole time. So when I was like, however old I was in like 2013, let's see, I was like 9 or 8, I think. This guy was like, subtract that by 4, and I did not know the whole time that guy was like that many years younger than me. I don't know. He was able to like communicate with me well in the game. So we became best buds. We played a few games, and then things die down sometimes. Like as things go on, people play other games, but I always stuck with Roblox mainly throughout my life. I could have been playing Minecraft. I mean, I watched Minecraft YouTubers a lot. Same with the COD YouTubers. But I just always stuck with Roblox. I mean, it was simple. It was like it was free. Like the things like going on in my life. It's like I couldn't really go and ask my mom like, hey, can I get Xbox Live for the year and get the new Call of Duty every year? That was not a conversation at all. So I stuck with Roblox, and I was playing Phantom Forces, and man, what other OG games was I playing? Like there was like an Apocalypse Rising game. I was a good sword fighter for a few years. So things were going there. Then the events came, with the gift explosion. Like you could have these like times where you go around in games, you do a mission, you get a free item. And then, you know, if you have the gift card items, I got a lot of gift cards, and most of the time that money that was like sneaked away from my parents, but yeah. But I got some cool stuff, and then I'm considering when I start, I'll be able to pay them back somehow. So, without sharing too many details, right? I know you guys don't know, but there are people that know that can work their way around to be like, this guy's doing something, and I'm gonna do something about it, and then ruin his life or whatever. Screw it. But I got some cool items, and some of these items they're rare and like it's cool, but I don't want to wear them right now because my predicament right now is that if I change my avatar, I can no longer wear these certain hats that are on my character, and these items on my character they're worth about like the accumulation is like about $10,000. So it's like if I click one thing on my avatar customization page, it's gone. Like I can't wear that anymore. I don't even have one of the items right now, and in a few months I'm not gonna have the other one. That's like worth like 80% of that 10,000, or pretty much like 100,000. It's debatable right now, but not sharing too many details. Whatever. As I said, at least that's where I got the benefit from. But what did I lose? You know, we lost the community. We lost that soul that it had once had, and you know, I think it was gone after like 2016. People like to say like they're OG like in 2016. I don't think so. Now I'm a guy in my 20s talking about this, which is stupid. But I mean, you know, it's like if you know a lot about something, you're gonna talk about it. So that's just my life right now. I mean, I'm just gonna embrace that. Whatever. I try to be transparent with y'all. So you know, because it's like some people are so prideful these days. That'll be another topic. I try to not be that. You know, people want to like go back on YouTube and just see something genuine, right? You know, like just see a guy talk maybe like me and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna turn this on, right? Like I don't want to watch this like corporate stuff or this messed up stuff. Like I just want to like see a dude talk about something he's passionate about. So 2016, that's when that's when I say like old gen, like OG turned to mid gen. So like if you join after 2015, you're mid gen, and then 2020 is when mid gen ends, and then that's when the new gen starts. People are gonna be like, "What? How are you gonna be on Roblox? Or like for how are you gonna say someone's been on Roblox for 6 years, and they're still a new gen?" Well, if you know, you know. If you've been on the game like me, you know why. All right, so I'm gonna explain a little bit. So there used to be this thing around 2016. They did this update with the avatars where you can have more like limbs, like the blocks, you know, to like when you're moving, like and stuff, like you know, like OG is just like it's just one block for the arm. Now you got like I think it's the shoulder, 1, 2, and then the wrist or the hand. So it's like that changed, and with that you got more like customization abilities, animations and stuff. So that just played along. Then YouTubers came along, right? So there was like YouTubers like Flamingo or Quackity. You know, those guys brought the game back. You know, like the community, like it started going up a little bit, like not too much because 2020 is when that really started, but 2016 is when it kind of started. These 40s, bro. Then there was also Dennis Daly. Now, the YouTubers that I used to watch were Bear Ghost. I used to watch, I keep thinking like H2O Delirious, but it's somebody that has a name like him. Then I was watching Epic Rika, of course, and of course I was watching Firefox, and of course I was watching a little bit of Xiao Xiao, man. Come on, guys, I'm an OG. What can I say? If you go on those videos, like the meme, like the culture, right? It's so different. It's just so different. That's its time, right? You know, like that. It'll be hard to translate that into these times. You know, somebody was saying on TikTok, "Oh, we're gonna bring the great meme reset back this year." That failed hard. You know why that failed hard? Is because you know, those memes back in the times, they're made like to culturally relate to the time period that it's made in, right? So it's like, you know, that's why trends come and go. And you know, as time has went by these past 20 years, we've seen that trends come and go faster and faster and faster, right? So it's like peak comedy, like, you know, if you were watching like YTPs, like YouTube poops, like on YouTube, and like, you know, it's just like, you know what that is, right? You know what that's like. And then like, we were kids watching like meme compilations on YouTube. I'm sure we all have. And then we all realized now it's getting too saturated and repetitive, so we're just gonna move on. That's an interesting thing though. I think that was like between 2016 into 2017. I'd say that's when that started for me. I was just like, okay, now this thing is like getting like these meme compilations or these meme like videos on YouTube. They're just like, it's kind of losing its soul. You know what I mean? So, but you know, like back in the day, like, you know, you're watching like these videos like Xiao Xiao Man, like, and all the memes that he had on there, and it's just like, you know, that's like, he can repeat the same joke like 100 different times, but that was still funny because people's brains like weren't like so like ready to be like moving on from that, which is a unique thing. But you know, it's not to say that that's like an ideal like thing. You know, it's like jokes can be boring. You know, that's okay. A joke can like last as long as it lasts. You know, I think there's no issue in that. Oh my god, yeah. I love these things, and I'm gonna go on another topic about this next video, I think, or in the future. Where was I? So let's see. I'll talk a little bit about. Yeah, let's talk about my life on Roblox. Okay, let's see. 2012. You know, it was like third grade. I was a bit of a crybaby. Fuck it. Maybe that's another video. I think I'll talk about my life too, but I'll be careful with that because I want to be transparent. Whatever. Let's see, 2012, you know, playing the games. 2013, I think that's when like Cole's Admin House came out. When I was playing Cole's Admin House, oh my god, it was so toxic, right? And I was put to a point of anger that I was like, okay, I need to spend this $3 worth of Robux to get this like Game Pass so that people can stop effing with me, right? So I told the people in the servers, like, guys, I'm gonna be gone for 5 minutes. Please do not mess up my character, okay? I want to play the game normally, all right? Because it's in this game, you get commands. Like, you get admin commands. Everyone gets admin commands. If you complete a little obstacle course, sorry, obby. I think that term came from Roblox too. So now it's like my vocabulary instinctively. I will say obby before obstacle course, and maybe some people are being like, "What are you saying, obby?" Right? Isn't that such an interesting thing? So some things like come like from the culture, like Roblox, like that. You finish a little obstacle course, right? And then you step on a little plate and it gives you admin commands for the game. You can fly, you can like put a sword, you can give yourself a sword, you can give yourself 1,000 health, you can kill everyone, you can explode everyone, you can like, all right, you get it, right? So I said, I'm gonna be gone for 5 minutes. I don't have the permanent admin command game pass, so I can't join a game and automatically have my admin commands, right? I still have to do the obstacle course and step on the plate. Mind you, people can like step on another plate or click another plate. If we're gonna have some other Roblox OGs trying to critique me on this, you have to click the plate on the left, and I think it's like bluish, and it resets all like the other admin panels on the right that people have stepped on that give them an admin, right? So that got reset, and then 5 minutes later, I'm up in the sky. There's a force to it. I'm frozen. I'm just in the sky, and I'm like dressed as like annoying orange, right? And then just like it's nighttime or something, and I can't see. I think I'm like lagging. I started crying. I started crying, bro. And I was typing in the chat, right? I was like, "Shut me up," right? So, like, whatever. Make a long story short, I was saying paragraphs, right? I was complaining. These people were probably laughing at me. So I had to get the admin commands, and then, you know, I wasn't as much of a demon, but there were times where I was a demon. I think I did make 1 or 2 kids cry one time, and I think one of them was a girl. But I was a little kid. I don't like to deliberately do that to people these days. I'm a better person now. Okay, that was given my environment. I'll talk about my life in the future, right? What happened in 2014? Maybe I'll talk about this. Maybe it was 2014. Do you guys remember the swag era? Now imagine the swag era on Roblox. Imagine genuinely being on Roblox in 2014 and with the swag era, with the Mickey Mouse gloves and the Obey shirt and like the no haters, like, I don't know, like haters heart me hat. Like that was real. That was on the game. Now there is like a game. I can't find it till this day. I still try to find it. I don't even know where it is. I think it was on Internet I don't know if it's on Internet Archive. I don't know. But look, I think it was called Just Dance. And then it was just like a gray, or no, it wasn't a gray, it was a grass base plate with the OG terrain. And there was like 50 people in the game or something. And like it was just the grass base plate. And then there was just like the sky or whatever. Some people had gears. I think there was like you could drink a little potion and like it made a rodeo cowboy sound or something. Made you a little faster, right? Oh my god, I had this good friend on this game. I forgot his name. Look, okay, so like Eduardo, Mario, Cool Cat. Then I had Tron Legacy. And then I had this one mystery guy. I can't remember his name. I used to play with him between like 2013 to 2015 or something. Then we fell out. I talked to him one time in like maybe 2017 or 2018. Never again. Never again. And I wish I remembered his name. Just like how I wish I remembered this game's name. But it was cool. But in that game, you see how like I can backtrack. I can come back, right? Look, everybody was wearing that swag, like. And then there was like these trends, you could wear like the leopard fedora. Do y'all remember that? I don't know if we got OGs in here, but maybe you were wearing like the leopard fedora. Everyone was on it wearing the leopard fedora. You wore an Obey shirt, you had to, and then you wore I don't know what kind of pants. I mean, the pants weren't really like that too trendy. I mean, if you're talking about like before 2014, the trends for pants were a bit more like apparent, like color changing and stuff, right? So 2.0s, you're wearing the 2.0 body. Right, you had the smiling, like the shining teeth face, maybe Mr. Chuckles, for the girls and whatever. But man, it was just a place where you could just hang out. You just talk to people, right? And it was kind of scary, like when I was a kid on there, I was kind of like a little bit scared to like go up to some groups of people. But sometimes I was also like, F it, I'm gonna go up to these people and act like I fit in, right? That's kind of like me to this day. It's like sometimes I'm a little scared to go to a group. Sometimes I'll be like, F it, I'm gonna go to that group, right? This is me. And you guys should never be like ashamed to be yourself, right? Never be ashamed to be yourself. Just like keep evolving and keep trying to show the best version of yourself, right? Be yourself. But we got versions of ourselves that are bad and good. Just try and be the good one, okay? And it may be hard, I'd say in life, it's hard to be good because it's so easy to be evil. It's so easy to be bad in this world. I got like ideologies and political like things about me that just I will hesitate to talk about. But just know it's like I'll summarize it like this. The main shows I love watching are One Piece, that's my number one, and Attack on Titan, that's my number two. Okay? Number three, I like Death Note. What else did I watch? Watch a little Spy Family. And then it depends on my mood. I watch Nana, Sometimes if I don't want to be in that side. Okay? Maybe that's as far as I go in my ideologies. One Piece, Attack on Titan. If y'all know, y'all know. Okay? I'm with y'all. Alright? I'm with y'all. And I'm ready to fight if I need to die if I need to. I'd say I'm one of those people that I'm content. If I need to die for my cause, I will. But death is not an excuse for being weak. Death is not an excuse for the absence of other efforts that you did not put effort into, right? Death is not an excuse for the lack of effort that you put in, okay? Death is not an excuse for the lack of effort that you put in, okay? This could be a message to people that go into the army, go into the front lines, and die deliberately, knowing that there was the risk and the dangers, because back home, they weren't doing enough back home to care for the people, for their village, right? They weren't caring enough for their village. Some people are just ready to go. Some people just don't want to live to 90 years old or something, to 100. Me personally, I don't know if I want to keep going until 70. If I feel like I'm slowing down, I'm ready, That's just me. And if I'm ready, I think I will just go to whatever. I'll be transparent with you. I had it in my dream a year or two ago. I imagined myself going to Mongolia, going into the going to the mountains. It's just a bright day, grassy day, and I'm old, and I'm just laying down. And I don't know how I'm gonna die. Maybe I take something, or maybe I just die from starvation, whatever. But that's just beautiful. That's just nature. It's just nature. I think I'd be okay with that. But I'm young, right? I don't have a family, right? I haven't really experienced life yet. I'm in college right now, okay? I haven't gotten that few years to develop something, right? You know, I fell in love a few times in my life, but, you know, I haven't really had that type of love where, like, you know, we're in the same household, you know, we mingle together, maybe we have kids, we pay our bills together, you know, we share a budget, and have that for a few years. That might stop me from wanting to die for what I believe in. You know, if there was a revolution, that might stop me from going to like some mountainous area when I'm old and just being there and dying by myself. Right? Some people will be like, I want to go to the forest and I want to live away from society. Do you really want that? You got to really think about, like, do you really want that? What is there for you when you actually go into the forest, right? And you're away from society. You got to think about that, okay? You got to sit down and think about that. Even I thought about that, right? When I was trending, right? That's where I'm going, right? Because we all remember that when I was trending. So, like, it's going to be hard, right? You know, if you don't have a job, you know, you got to depend on yourself. And, you know, there's this website that I had that I went on as a kid and the rest of my class in like middle school, and we put in like our habits in life, right? And then it told us how many earths it would take to like sustain our life. For me, I think it was like 1.4 or something, or 2.1. I think this was like 6th or 7th grade, but I'm not gonna say the meme. It's like it's wired in me, but I'm not gonna do it. But then I had to like I went a little more humble. But that changed me a little bit. Not to be like, oh my god, this is the most like life altering thing ever. No, it was just like a median. It was like a moderate level. But it made me more aware, right? So, you know, try to be humble. You know, if you're gonna live in the forest, you gotta realize, you know, if you're away from society, if you're not gonna have a job in society, that's gonna be hard, right? Like, you know, grab your fire. You need to get your food. How are you gonna get your food? You gotta put traps all around. You gotta walk miles every day, get those squirrels, get those birds, right? Get those raccoons or foxes, and you actually have to eat that. You actually have to eat that. And then how are we gonna stay warm? Do you realize how much like wood or like, you know, like how it's gonna take? You can use insulation too, which will save on like the energy, you know, cost, not cost as in money if you're in the forest, but like, you know, the cost of like effort and time, right? To do that. But you know, it's like I think the electricity that companies produce, like I think it's like about the same as like, you know, like burning wood fires, right? So that process that they've done, they've made that economically equivalent to what that is. So that's good, I guess. Old English. There's a video on YouTube. this guy like pretended to be a wizard, and he went around like different gas stations looking for old English. I'm gonna watch that later. But anyways, yeah, that's the thing about the forest. Now let's go back to Roblox. Okay, let's say what happened in 2015. The first thing that I think about in 2015 is that song called Cheerleader. And I used to sing that all the time. Wait, let's think about school. Okay. I have videos, right? Of me like in middle school with like my middle school friends. Yeah, I'm gonna make this a whole set. I'm gonna make other videos about my life, but like let's talk about it for a little bit, right? The first thing to think about in 2015, okay, so I remember the Cheerleader song, I remember Fetty Wap. That was popping. Oh yeah. Yeah, I said 2015. Wait. Yeah, I said 2015. Hold on. Yeah, because in like the earlier years before that, I remember there was this song called like "Don't Stop That Dun Dun Dun," hey, don't stop that dun dun dun. But when it was like the Vine era, I thought it was like that. I thought it was called Dirk a Dirk, cause like that one like I think it was like an Indian dude on Vine. He went, "Don't stop that Dirk Dirk," and like that's what I thought it was. So when I was in my like my middle school or elementary, I don't know the difference. I'll look it up later. Whatever. Who cares right now? My whole class, right? I'm from a black majority city, okay? And like, I didn't know people actually knew that song until like maybe like a year ago for real. That like, that's an actual song. Like, people don't listen to that. Like even back then, like, so they were correcting me. I was like, hey, don't stop that Dirk Day, hey. And they're like, no, it's don't stop that dun dun dun. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's called Dirk Dirk. I just saw it on Vine. Looking so stupid. So I think about that. So I thought about that for the first time, like maybe a year, like about a year ago. I'm like, this is a song that really exists. Okay. So there is that. And then 2015, I think it's Cheerleader. I gotta hold on. Cheerleader song. Watch it not come up. Yep, of course it didn't come up. Oh, I hope that I don't even know if that's the lyrics. Nicky Jam. Okay.